In this video, we're going to take a look a little bit more at the art of programming and how it ties into Ruby a little bit more. So the first thing I'm going to do is create a Java program that's just going to print out hello here. And I'm not doing this to diss Java or anything. I'm actually doing this to show you the differences between Java and Ruby. And like I said in the first art of programming video, each of these technology has their place. But I feel that when it comes to creativity, that Ruby allows you to express a little bit more, and I really want to highlight and show you why I believe that. So let's go ahead and create this. So I'm going to do a public class, and we'll just call it hello. We get our parentheses, and we need to have a public static void main and string args. And let's open that up, and then we'll just say system out print line HELLO. And this isn't even, this'll compile up okay. So here we go. Go ahead and run it. Actually, I messed up on the name here. Okay, there we go. And compile it and see if we... Okay, so we run it. It says hello. Nothing too complex, but it's fairly daunting looking, and when you're learning programming, all this stuff gets kind of in the way, all these different things. Like I said, Java has its place. I'm not saying it doesn't, and it has a lot of strengths. But let's do a new Ruby one. There you go. So I just wanted to kind of show you the difference there between the two. Now if I did C or something along those lines, it would have a closer look to something along these lines, but it'd be complex. However, if I went to Perl or another type of scripting language, it'd look closer to what's going on here. Now obviously there's a lot of stuff going on behind the screen, so to speak, with Ruby. It isn't just this easy, but for a programmer, especially starting out, it is just this easy, and you don't have to worry about all that added complexity that's here. The thing with these languages such as Java is they give you incredible amount of power to do things, and they have a lot of flexibility, but that comes with a price, and the price is that a declarative language like this that's pretty strictly typed, you have to spell it out for the compiler. You have to tell it the scope of the class, and if these words don't mean anything to you, don't worry about it. We'll get to them eventually in other videos. You have to tell it what you're talking about here along with the name. You have to declare the various strings and the types of the arguments that you're going to use, and when you're using methods, they have to be spelled out so the compiler can find them. So and there's these little language constructs that have to end a line you need a semicolon, and to close out you need the braces, and they're required. Now Ruby has similar things, but they're in some ways they're not required. You could use parentheses down here. Wouldn't really make too much difference, but as a programmer it might clarify things up if this was a complex statement. But as far as Ruby's concerned, it doesn't really care. You don't want to be putting semicolons and stuff in here. You're going to get, well, it worked with that. You could put them in there, but you really don't want to get in the habit of adding extra stuff that you don't want in there. So really, Ruby lets you be creative because you can start at these very simple terms, just putting in some simple commands and really expanding your understanding from there. Now, in another video, early video, we're going to cover algorithms, because another component to programming, as I talked in the earlier Art of Programming video, the first one, is you have to know what you're going to solve, the problem that you're going to solve, and you have to figure out how you're going to solve it. Not only you're choosing a technology like Java versus Ruby versus C or whatever, but you also then have to pick your approach. And a lot of programming has to do with, the actual act of programming has to do with algorithms. And algorithms are the logic how a problem is solved. And I'll get into more in that video, and that's kind of where we're going here. But I wanted to show you how to be a little bit creative and show you the difference between Ruby and Java here. Now, just for a side thing, the program I'm using here is called TextMate, and it's just a text editor. It's a very nice text editor. There's plenty of good text editors out there. I like this one because it's got a lot of features. It understands if I'm dealing with a Ruby file versus a Java file versus some other type of file. And there's plenty of editors on the Windows platform that have similar kind of aspect as well as on Linux. And we'll get into development tools down the road of what you can use for these different things. This is just exposing you a little bit to Ruby and how you can kind of see how you can be creative with Ruby just because of the simple syntax and what it allows you to do there.